Everybody, happy Monday. It is week 15. We are almost done with the semester. So it is time to talk about the final. So firstly, this week is the week that you are writing your proposed final exam question. This is pretty similar to what we did at the midterm. You can read the guidelines. They're pretty much the same, except this time you're going to be focusing more on either the stuff we read in the second half of the semester or the second half of the semester as it relates back to stuff from the first half of the semester, but not questions that are exclusively about things from pre-spring break. This is due by noon on Friday, and you may work with a partner. If you do work with a partner, only one of you needs to turn it in, but make sure that both of your names are on it. So go on Blackboard, read through the guidelines so that you make sure you are following them. Question and also answer. Answers, I would like to say, last time there was a wide variety in terms of how much answer you guys gave. Some of you gave really full, complete, excellent answers. Some of you, the word half-assed comes to mind. There was a little bit of like, students should answer the question with evidence. No, give me something more than that. Give me something that I can work with. I'm not going to set a minimum word count on that because, it really varies based on the question, but do a thorough job. Which brings me to the actual final exam. So I encouraged you before to read the instructions for that, which are on Blackboard, and I'm going to link them to this as well. The big news there is, one, it is a take-home, and two, it is a group final exam. So because we're not going to be in class to sort of synthesize everything we've learned this semester, this is an opportunity for your group to kind of do that. So week 16, you're going to have discussion on articles on Monday, but then Wednesday and Friday is time for you and your group to work together on the final exam. So if you would strongly prefer not to work with your entire group, you're welcome to do it on your own, or you could break your group in half if it's kind of getting unwieldy and you'd like to just do like 3 people or something. But I really do encourage you to use this as a collaborative exercise. So I will be posting the questions on Monday evening, a week from, I don't know what date that is. It's Monday of week 16. 27th. Yeah, there you go. The 27th. April 27th, I will be posting the final exam questions, and then they will be due, the entire thing will be due Tuesday, 5 p.m. of finals week. So please read the instructions carefully so that you understand what that will look like, and email me if you have questions. Those are my announcements. So we are going to be talking today about Catalog of Sunlight at the End of the World. So would you like to 30-second recap that?
I would.
Okay.
And also 2-second recap it. A sad story.
Yeah, that's true. That was a sad story. Reminded me a lot of Interstellar.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. You have all seen Interstellar. It reminds me of
It didn't remind me of Apollo 13. Space movies.
True. All right, are you ready?
No, I'm thinking about Apollo 13. They really brought it. I don't remember any names, so I'm just going to do my best.
Okay.
Give me 1 second to get this. Okay, I'm
3,
ready.
2, 1, go.
It's about 200 years in the future. Everyone lives in Svalbard, and they're getting ready to leave to go on a giant mission to go find a new home that's going to take at least 2 generations, maybe 3, and it's not clear if they have a new home in mind. Everybody's leaving. Like, the whole world is leaving because they kind of trashed Earth, and it's really bad. Like, really bad. Like, it didn't used to be bad. Like, a generation ago, it was just, like, kind of shitty, but, like, now it's really shitty. And this guy's staying behind, and all his family's leaving, and he's really sad, and he's staying there because his dead wife is there, and so he thinks about her and how great the sun is, and how great their love is, and how great their rare flower is, and it's very moving.
Done. All right. I'm going to pull it up so we maybe remember some of the people's names.
There's Kathy and Thomas.
Yeah.
Those are his children.
Yeah.
And his wife's name is not Miriam.
It is not named Miriam. Do we ever find out what his name is?
I don't know.
It's odd that we don't find out his name, right?
No.
No? I mean, I know he's the narrator.
His
I
dad.
just thought somebody was going to chat with him at some point. Okay, so it also reminds me of WALL-E. It's got a WALL-E feel to it, too, except in WALL-E, at least they were planning on maybe coming back.
Yeah, but I can't watch the beginning of WALL-E because it's so sad.
It is too sad. Yeah. Okay, so would you like me to go first, or you to go first?
While you look for these names.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find their names.
There's Kathy, Linda, Mila.
Is that her name?
I see it.
Yes, Mila. That's right. I want to call her Maria. I don't want to call her Maria. Good thing I didn't do the recap. Okay, let's move on. My Havruta is who got to stay, who got to go, and why. So, it seems like the level of technology involved for this to happen means that not everyone on Earth can go. Like our current population, even if it stayed at this level and hadn't had any more population growth, I feel like you couldn't get this many people.
Yeah, I don't think a 7 billion person spaceship.
Well, it's not just one. It's like multiple. Like it's like a fleet, isn't it?
I got a fleet. You're right. It's a fleet,
but it's still like I think like Battlestar Galactica. That's not. We're not talking about billions of people. So if not everybody can go, I could see there being two options. One is that they had some sort of system for selecting people, and they don't really get into that.
Except they did say that he was pretty sure that like Kathy could still get me a seat.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wasn't clear if it was pulling strings because like it was too late, or as like that it was really coveted.
Yeah, but there's no talk of like a lottery. There's no talk of like we'll choose our most brilliant minds. So it's either some sort of social selection thing we don't hear about, or they've screwed up the Earth so much that so many people have died that the remaining population is fine to be part of Space Fleet.
Yeah,
and I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other thing too is that so we're jumping 200 years in advance, right? And like technology can be kind of bananas, right? But at the same time, they've also dealt with some pretty cataclysmic environmental events, right? Like this isn't just like there was some light starvation. This was like pretty much most of the world is uninhabitable. We need to abandon the whole Earth, right? I can't imagine a world where they're saying 1 billion people can come along, right? Like, I mean, based on my space things, like if they could pull off a few 100,000, that'd be pretty amazing for like a fleet and a ship. I mean, like, and then like you could like do some hand waving and say like maybe 1 million, but like that's not even.
I mean, it's fractional. That's so few people. So that's why I'm wondering like which of these scenarios is it? Because they're both dystopian in their own way, and
well, and it's also hard to tell too because I got the impression that on the one hand they're like Mila and the narrator, right? They were born. They chose to move to Svalbard, right? And their kids were born in Svalbard, and so they have like the Svalbard community. And it seems like most of Svalbard's leaving, and most of Svalbard could leave, but also it's like kind of got like a university town sort of feel.
Yeah, a lot of them are part of the seed bank,
and also like part of the like human resources for the ship sort of thing. So I have a sense of like one of the companies or something is like headquartered there as like a pretty okay place to be, and so it's also hard to tell like in their community it seems like everyone who wants to go can go, but it doesn't seem.
But there could be parts of the world where
that's not the case.
You know, having a golden ticket is really unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or everyone's dead.
Yeah.
So it's one or the other.
But no one's very worried about it, which suggests that everyone's dead. But then on the other hand, they're like taking really like decent vacations and weddings like a generation ago.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem that long.
He describes like he's got his library here and he's like, he talks about
it. He's cozy.
He talks about it in a really like contemporary way.
Yeah.
Like a very upper middle class contemporary sort of.
Until you raised it, it read to me as all the world was going, except for the people who didn't want to go. Or maybe like some people who couldn't or you know, something like that. And so that it was going to be like, I had a real 90% of the earth was leaving feel. And I just kind of, because I didn't want to think about it too hard, I just decided that they had 7 billion people's worth of spaceships.
Maybe. But if they can do that together, why haven't they do something about climate change?
Also true. But I mean, that said, like to launch a generational space mission to another world, whether known, identified or not, like that's pretty. Like,
do you think they prioritize that over saving the Earth? Do you think 50 years ago they're like, well, screw it, this is not going to work, so let's put it all in on space travel?
Earthseed.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Earthseed. This is the long game of like Lauren's like, you know, our destiny lies in the stars. We gotta, you know, jump ship. This planet is dead.
Yeah.
I assume that Lauren's in charge of this.
Yeah, I assume so.
Or like her ancestors.
Yeah.
All right. What was your question?
So mine was actually related, which was how did they pull this off? Right. Again, just thinking through timelines. So we've got about 200 years, and it kind of like if you had a world that was our world, and you just imagined everyone working so hard, like as hard as they could towards this one goal for 200 years, then like. Okay, because, you know, you jump like 200 years pre-moon mission, and you would like find that pretty laughable that people could go to the moon as of 1769.
Also, our attention span to be like, I want to work on this thing that, you know, is going to be fulfilled by my. We can't even do that with like normal things.
No, no. And like, yeah, but like, it isn't even one generation, this is multiple. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and the coordination. I mean, the other thing that just kind of astonished me was that it was not the case that like this mission was going, like this community was leaving, he decided to stay, but it was like actually a global thing, and that
Mm-hmm.
level of coordination. I mean, like, it's hard to get one spaceship up, like,
Sure.
and again, there doesn't appear to be any sort of like this world is different because now we can move matter freely, or we can like
Mhm.
make unlimited copies, or there's not any of those
Yeah, they
sorts of
haven't-
tropes. Like everything is pretty like real, like based in reality, like really specifically
Mhm.
down to his like books and his cute little cat. And so I was just kind of marveling at that, which then made me think that maybe that was because there were few people to wrangle and something really bad happened. But it was just so weird because they had such a nice wedding on Prince Edward Island, and I feel like he would have mentioned the trauma. But maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just thinking about good times.
Yeah, it does feel like if there was more, like if you not decimated, because decimated is when 1/10 of the people died, but whatever the opposite is, where like 9/10 of the people died. I feel like that should come up at some point in the story.
Like you'd have like the great dying.
But he doesn't mention that. So maybe I mean it could be that like maybe 10% of the Earth is leaving right now, which is still that's still way too high. Way too high. Okay, 1% of the Earth is leaving. Everybody else is like, these people are crazy.
What if like?
And they're staying because they think these people are crazy. But in his community, everybody's going. So for him, it's just like,
What if birth rates plummeted?
oh, okay.
So like maybe the population fell, but like in a nice way. Like
He didn't mention that either. That one. He's still got 2 kids.
He's got 2 kids
who appear to have between them 3 spouses.
which suggests spouses aren't in short supply.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm confused about all of that.
And part of it's not necessary because it's mostly a love letter to his wife and to the son, and it's very lovely. And if I wanted to engage more, I'd think more about the symbolism of the flower.
You want to tell them about the flower?
I did some research. We should do some research. So it's on the Rock of Gibraltar, and it's a real flower, and it's for a long time scientists thought it was extinct everywhere in the world. Well, scientists all over the world thought it was extinct, except for scientists on the Rock of Gibraltar, because they were like, hey, we know where it is. It's over there. So those scientists knew. But then those scientists also thought it was extinct. And that was like in 85. They were like, oh, I think this might be extinct. Or maybe 92. But then in 94, they found it again. They were like, oh, it's not extinct. It's amazing. And so now it's in the sea vault. So it's like, it's true. It's actually quite pretty. You should look it up.
Sure.
It's very delicate. It looks as described. Like it's about to just kind of like...
Yeah, the love story was nice. It was. I mean, I noticed a lot of people in their responses last week and in the discussions last week talked about why was there so much discussion of Alina's love life in the
gators,
at the
crocodiles,
sunlight and sapphires, sunshine and sapphires. That one, the one with the crocodiles. And why is that so central? And part of that, I think, goes back to this readers like a relatable character who's having everyday adventures with also this like background of climate change and whatnot. And here it's also so foregrounded. His romance with his wife is like, for him, it's certainly more central than anything else that's going on. And we're reading it thinking about like the climate change aspects. But to me, I also found like his personal story to be pretty affecting.
Yeah, did LeVar read this to me? No, I read this twice.
Yourself.
I read this twice. Okay, never mind. Well, I read it the first time I read it. It didn't strike me as so sad because I was so enamored of the love story. Like I just read it as a love story, and then like this was all in the backdrop. But then when you flip it and read it the other way, then
It's quite sad.
It's sadder.
It's pretty sad.
But it reminded me of kind of like how in times of great crisis, people still need haircuts and still go on dates and still like have lives that are also really important to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's still having all of that, which is maybe why we don't see everything that's happening out of the corner of his eyes, because he's only got eyes for Mila.
Eyes for Mila.
Yeah, and that seed that he's gonna smuggle. Okay, well, Wednesday's story, I decided that we couldn't end on this one because it was a little bit too sad. So Wednesday's is just fun, just for fun. Wednesday, you're also going to be reading, you've been reading about Solarpunk, just a very short little thing about Solarpunk, and discussing in your groups both about the story and about Solarpunk.
We've been enjoying a lot of Solarpunk.
We have been enjoying a lot of Solarpunk. Pretty much since we finished Parable of the Sower, it's been almost all Solarpunk.
The fonts have been similar.
The fonts have been similar. There's been a lot more Solarpunk. Okay, so again, review that stuff about the final, and we will be back again on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.